Xavier Worthy. And we'll talk about the two plays. He obviously had that bomb in the beginning of the game with Mahomes, and then he caught a 20, 30-yard catch for a touchdown with Carson Wentz.
Yep.
But I think the big thing is for me, what I noticed, they want to get on the ball. They didn't get on the ball at all last week after the first drive. But he comes out here, looked phenomenal today. And I think the big key for me is obviously he caught a big, was it a corner route with Mahomes, about a 45-yard one. And then he caught a post route, which post was amazing. Him, kind of doing a little shimmy and then taking off to the angle. He was wide open, but his speed got him wide open, which is kind of the reason why we drafted him, being a 4.2, 140. But third and long on both of those plays. Third and long, I mean, we're talking about third and longs are huge. And you got that both catches were on third and long, 3rd and 10 plus, I believe. So, I love that. I mean, a team that, kind of suffered from the third and not really converting a lot on third downs last year in the regular season. Having a guy like that's going to make life a little easier for Pat and the offense. What did you make of Xavier Worthy? And also, they used him in the backfield too. They're kind of using him all over the place, which I love seeing that. What did you make of Xavier Worthy and his big day today?
I was going to say, shout out to Buffalo. Thanks for the pick. He just showed why he was a first rounder. I'm not going to get overly excited and say he was already completely worth it, but worthy it. But I'm really excited, especially because we lost Hollywood. It just seems like he's a perfect in the meantime replacement. And when Hollywood comes back, you have just two really hard to cover guys out there who have crazy speed. He looked great. He looked like a vet, actually. Looked pretty polished out there. I just think we have, in general, really good depth of receiver. Finally. We were talking about the problem earlier. We're going to be, a lot of people are going to be upset. Multiple guys are going to get cut because the top end is so good. And then we have some good mid guys. And I think with Worthy and Hollywood and Rice, we're in really good hands in the top, pun intended, the top three of our receivers. And Worthy he looked the part, man. I'm really excited. I think he's going to have, I know his over-unders in Vegas are pretty high. I think he's going to nail all those and then some.
Bold. I thought his numbers were really high as far as just kind of maybe Vegas kind of counting too much of what Rashee Rice did last year. Two different types of receivers, but I thought maybe Vegas is kind of adjusting those numbers, rookie numbers for Xavier Worthy because of how good of a year Rashee Rice had, and I think Vegas got crushed on the Rashee Rice numbers last year, so I thought they kind of automatically adjusted to try to compensate for what they lost with Rashee Rice last year. So I thought Xavier Worthy's over-unders for the season are pretty high.
True, but you got to remember, this year with Worthy, we also have Rice. Rice, it was a bunch of guys last year receiver. We had, two guys that are on the bubble to make the roster this year were our number 1 and 2s at this point with Toney and Sky Moore. So Rice really came into an opportunity where, in most cases on a deep receiving core, he probably wouldn't have had those stats, but he had the opportunity and it was just there and he took it and ran with it. Worthy's got to battle with a lot of guys for balls. Well, not so much anymore with Hollywood going down, but to start the season off with Hollywood. So them giving him those numbers and don't forget Kelsey, with all the options we have is pretty impressive. They obviously think he's going to have a really good year. I just think we're going to throw a ton more. I think we're just going to be a lot more effective and efficient throwing the ball. I was trying to find out. I want to see if they updated his stats after Hollywood's injuries. I know Kelsey's went up, I think, 50 yards in his over-under. I don't think they still don't have Rice listed because they don't know if it's a situation. They don't want to get screwed over. But I was trying to see. I couldn't find Worthy's, but
I'll say this. Going to the other pass catcher, Rashee Rice, it's looking like he's becoming the other. They're kind of expanding his route tree a little bit. Last year, they did a lot of hitches and a lot of quick screens with him. Looks like they're going from the quick screen game with Rashee Rice and just going all hitches with him because, I think it was a couple, 3 routes in a row was hitch. And, he made some, he's going to have, what I saw today kind of translates to the regular season. We might see him have a close to a 90 to 100 catch kind of year, just based if he plays all season, he's not suspended. And if they utilize him like the way they showcased him today, I think we're looking at a 90 catch to 100 catch kind of season for Rashee Rice. It looked like like a young Keenan Allen out there with the way they were kind of using him today.
I think Rice is going to have a monster season. And that's not just because of Brown. He's kind of like if you think about it right now, amongst our top three, I mean, him and Mahomes know each other the best out of those guys. Even if let's say Worthy is an incredible talent, maybe he's more talented than a Rice, but just dude, Rice and Mahomes are on the same page. He's a yak monster too. So I just think he's gonna kill it this year. I think he's our yak specialist. I think he's a guy you can just throw so many just short routes, just get the ball in his hands and watch him go. I mean, and look at the way he finished last year too, from against against Vegas on what 10 catches, 8 catches, 7 catches, 9 catches, 6 catches, 5 catches. I mean, and the playoffs 8, 4, 8, 6. That was, I mean, I think it's just going to continue on. If that was a whole game, he'd have like 11 catches this game. And I mean, yeah, I think Rice is going to have a monster year, man. I'm so excited about Rice.
Yeah,
I really hope he doesn't get suspended. But they're saying he probably won't because it's already pretty late into the process. But
from what I've read, it seems like his suspension, if it does come, it'll be next year. That's what I've read.
Yeah.
And Mike Florio and PFT, if you haven't really been talking about it that much since it went on this offseason. You know, we talked about Kadarius Toney. We'll talk about a guy who's in the bubble. Kadarius Toney, who we've Chief fans have talked about ad nauseum for the last few years, but since last year to now, it's kind of a 360. The guy's gone, or 180, I would say. Guy's gone from being number one receiver to now he's playing in the late third quarter of a preseason game. A guy who first play out there had 2 penalties on him for covering up Irv Smith Jr. And then there was another, I think a hold or something there. Yeah, I think it was a holding on the play as well. So not where you want to be if you're Kadarius Toney, your first preseason game, playing till the third quarter, playing with the wide receiver 6, 7, 8, 9 guys. I mean, I know JD and I have talked about this, but do you think it's close to the end for Kadarius Toney? I think this might be the last of him in a Chiefs uniform in these next 2 games here.
Man, if there's one thing that's helping him, it's the Hollywood Brown injury. Not that he's like a perfect replacement for Hollywood because it's not his game, but if we're a team worried about depth, maybe that could help him. But it seems like a steep climb for him to make the roster at this point. Because I mean, how many receivers do you see us keeping?
I think last year he kept 7, I believe. So I would probably think with the injuries, I would probably say 6 or 7. Yeah.
Okay, so 7. So Rice, Worthy, Brown, Watson is gonna make it. And let's go to the last 3s where it gets dicey, right? So got a lot of Ross lovers out there. Remigio, another option. Hardman, I just think we'll make it. Toney, Sky Moore. So there's going to be a couple guys that are cut there that we're going to be, pretty surprised about. And I don't think anyone at this point would be shocked if Toney didn't make the roster, though.
Yeah, between KT and Sky Moore, of those 2 guys who came up clutch in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, those 2 guys have faced a lot of scrutiny from fans. Sky Moore never reaching the potential of what he could have been as a second-round pick, and a lot of people want him gone, just a new scenery kind of deal. And then you have KT, who never reached the potential that we thought he was going to be. He showed flashes of it with New York, showed flashes of it with us. It just never, for whatever reason, just hasn't really clicked at all, which is
injuries hurts that a lot too. I mean, we can't keep blaming it on that. But it just slows. They weren't even major injuries to the point where he's out for like a whole entire year, like, just a surgery needed. He just had a lot of injuries that slowed down his progress. He can never like catch on and be like healthy long enough to really be, I guess just a part of the team and a core member of the receiving core, It's too bad.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.